Hello everybody, I am Casey Pine and I'm coming to you live from Taree in New South Wales.
And I'm Mike Evans coming to you live from Carlton Beach in beautiful warm Tasmania, and we're going to be back in 30 seconds with episode 143 of SpyCurious. Hi, Casey. What are you doing in Taree?
Oh, I've come down to visit some family and take advantage of the long weekend.
Very good. G'day, Renee. Thanks for tuning in.
Hi, Renee.
I wasn't sure we'd be getting anybody today, being second long weekend in a row. So great to see you watching, people. It's fantastic. We've got a very busy program today. We've got a lot to cover, a lot to get through. Our jobs this week include these ones that are available on our Facebook page. So get ready for them. G'day, George. Whoops, I think one's putting you on and one's taking you off. G'day, George. How you going? G'day, Renee. Thanks for checking in. G'day, Facebook user. That's all we can see you as, but it's great who you are later. When we look at the replay, we've got some great jobs coming up, so I'll get straight into them so you can see them. All these are over on our Facebook page, Australian Private, Government and Corporate Investigation Job Vacancies. Kerrigan's down in Melbourne. Oops. Are looking for circumstance or factual investigators to do WorkSafe and Transport Accident Commission investigations. So you'll be going out and interviewing people and taking statements from them. For Morris J. Kerrigan and Associates, it's an investigation agency that's been established in Melbourne for almost 40 years. So that's a great opportunity down in Melbourne. M&A investigations, they also have jobs down in Melbourne as well for factual investigators, but they're looking specifically right at the moment for someone in Cairns to do factual and circumstance investigations for them. This is a beauty. I haven't seen these guys for a while. They're after a trainee workplace investigator at Ashdale Workplace Solutions in Brisbane. So Brian and everybody up at Ashdale, they're looking to add another person to do investigations with them. Don't be fooled by the word trainee. This is top-level investigation stuff. It's serious misconduct investigations that they do at Ashdale. G'day, Chris. Good to see you, mate. Hope everything's great over in South Australia. Hope you're getting some time off on the long weekend, buddy. So Ashdale Workplace Solutions, they've been around forever. Brian and the team, they're a great place to work. So I've got to get into some other stuff. This really big news for us this week is next Tuesday, and you can see it here on training.gov.au, where all the RTOs are listed in Australia and what they do. The Australian Security Academy, as you can see, its initial registration was on the 27th of April 2001. That means next Tuesday we are 21 years old and it's our birthday. So we're really proud of that here at the Australian Security Academy. We're looking forward to having a big cup of tea and a celebration in relation to that next Tuesday. So 21 years gone by very, very quickly. You get grey hair for that. And it only took us, what, Casey, 19 years to become an overnight success, wasn't it?
Yeah,
so that's not so that's not so bad. So that's next Tuesday. So that's what's happening with us. So we're really looking forward to that. People saying g'day everywhere at the moment. G'day everyone. Really great that you're tuning in on the long weekend on a Friday. I thought you'd all be heading away. It was great. Thanks for your support. Now I've got to move on to, we've got a whole lot of stuff I've got to go through. It's come up this week, something that's trended that I'm really concerned about in investigations is an industry association thinks it's acceptable for people to be going out doing drunk live streaming. I don't think it's acceptable at all. Here's the video about it. I didn't know
drunk live streaming was so popular. In fact, after my post yesterday, I got invited to join in one. Society's attitudes evolve. What was once unacceptable can become acceptable over time. So over at Bondi Beach between 1935 and 1966, beach inspectors enforced swimwear decency. And that was done at that time. It's a different world today because society accepts that people can wear whatever they want to the beach and no one's going to dictate what they can do and can't do. So society's attitudes evolve. Today on Twitch, drunk live streaming is acceptable. That's on Twitch. It's in a limited area and not many people will see it other than gamers and young people. So in 100 years' time, the investigation industry might accept drunk live streaming as normal behaviour, but clients today, they don't want to see licensed private investigators drunkenly live streaming, slurring their words, lifting glasses up of wine and drinking them and clunking them next to the microphone. And courts and tribunals do not want to see that kind of unprofessionalism in the industry. Why don't they want to see that? It's because insurance company clients have already had one negative experience with their accident, so why should they have to go and deal with someone who thinks it's okay to be drunk when they're live streaming and teaching students on? The legal representatives from the other side will certainly use that to cast doubt in a case, and they will rejoice at the fact of your unprofessionalism. In the broader community, it gets around very quickly when this happens, and it undermines the faith in the insurance industry. Fruity Lexia does not make you sexier when teaching students to become licensed private investigators. Leave the goon in the fridge until the live stream has finished and the camera is in the off position. Don't be a goon. I'm Mike Evans from the Australian Security Academy.
People, I cannot overemphasize, never accept that a teacher can instruct you in investigations, drinking and getting intoxicated during the process of that instruction. Never accept that that kind of behaviour, if they do it, that you can in your work as an investigator. It's just bad form, and the clients will not accept that. You saw some of the clients there, they're a small amount of clients, they will not accept it. So if an industry association starts pushing that sort of thing on you, find another industry association. That's really important. There are the high standards. Courts and tribunals demand it. Law firms demand it. Investigation agencies demand it. If someone comes in for the industry in 5 minutes and starts getting intoxicated while live streaming, don't run with it, people. It's not the standard that's acceptable in investigation, teaching and learning in Australia. We don't want that happening, okay? So we're talking about industry associations there. Let's have a look at this one, which is the Australian Security Academy graduate student and current student industry association. So what's coming up in our next meeting? Casey, what have we got?
Yep, so our next meeting is on the 6th of May. Oh God, it's coming around so quickly. This year's vanishing before my eyes. So it's 1:30 p.m. on the 6th of May. So it's virtually our usual time. And it's really exciting next month because we have an employer coming in and having a talk to our members about, well, aside from the fact that he wants to hire a lot of new people, but he wants to talk about the process and what that entails and give you a bit of a look behind what goes on with agencies, what they expect from private investigators coming through, which I think is fantastic. When you first get licensed, often that's quite daunting because you don't know what to expect. So this is something that's really not to be missed because it'll be really beneficial for you.
This employer who's going to be presenting at that AirLap meeting given that nothing goes wrong on the day time-wise, so no urgencies. But he will be explaining his onboarding process, how he's going to be doing that through AirLap, in conjunction with AirLap. This is what's happened. The investigation agencies have now realised over time, 143 episodes of SpyCurious that you've been watching has really good value in it, that an industry association where we have high standards that don't accept intoxicated trainers, they cottoned on to all the value in this. And if you're in Victoria in particular, that's our first one. They will move on to other states later on, but just at the moment they have a high demand in Victoria. So if you are nearly finished your course or you're a licensed private investigator, then don't miss that May program for AirLap members. If you need to join AirLap and you haven't done so, get in touch with Casey. That's the email address. If you do that, Casey will send you your badge. Okay, that badge, as soon as you activate it, you go on our AirLap mailing list so we can tell you when our meetings are and that sort of thing and what's happening. So get in touch with Casey, get your badge, activate your badge and join those meetings and benefit from it. Basically, it's there for the benefit of our students. And when one of us shines, all of us shine. So, you know, we want to see your success out there. And we've built this over time now. We've really got the attention of clients, insurance companies. Insurance companies are now members of AirLap. Investigation agencies are members of AirLap. So, you know, we've got a lot of people's attention in relation to this. Okay, now we have, very importantly now, an interactivity. And that interactivity basically is, I'll let Casey explain it. He's used to explain it.
Okay, so if you can see on the screen now, Mike's gone through and picked out all of my different OSINT tips throughout the different SpyCurious episodes. So rather than having to go searching for them and flicking through all these different YouTube videos, Mike's just whittled it down and got each one and created a link for it. And if you would like to have access to these, so straight in access to really easy, some go for about a minute, others go for about 10 minutes, but they're fantastic. They help you with your skip tracing, your desktop investigations, and even just your pre-investigation planning. So if you put hashtag SpyCurious in the comments, Mike will send this through to you. So make sure you put hashtag SpyCurious in the comments below. That way we get some interaction and you get a fantastic resource which is very handy. Just even, you might know a lot of these tips, but sometimes we don't use a couple of these things for a little while and we think, oh, how do you do that? So this is just a fantastic free resource if you put in the comments hashtag SpyCurious. That way we get to see who's watching, make sure you're paying attention, and you get a fantastic resource.
Yeah, the other alternative was I could create one about all my funny jokes and all the times I raved on about myself. But if you want some good value here, it goes straight to Casey's hint. You don't have to see me talking about myself. You don't have to cringe through my unfunny jokes. It goes straight to Casey's really valuable hints. Now, if you're watching the replay, okay, send me your email address and I will send you that Word document. They are really good tips about locating people with OSINT. You could sit through a 3-hour OSINT course and fall asleep and dream about having a cup of coffee or something like that, but this goes directly to Casey's hints. Now, some of those hints go for 10 minutes. A lot of them go for 25 seconds. There are 21 links there for you to have Casey's hints. Now, you'll look back at this one day and you'll go, oh, I remember Casey talking about how to do this. Where can I find that? Well, you're going to get that in this document. And instead of wasting your time watching TV or gardening or something silly, you can check on Casey's hints, which are going to be very valuable for you when you're trying to locate people. So even if you're watching the replay of this, in the comments section or down below, in the comments section, I don't care if it's Facebook, LinkedIn, wherever, put in hashtag SpyCurious, right? Then let me know your email address and I will send you Casey's hints and tips. Now, there's 21 of them on this document so far. Now, 3 of them are interviews with people. Thanks, Renee. Thanks, everybody. It's really great. Some of them are interviews with, but that's okay. You know, they might be a little bit, but all the others are those really valuable hints that Casey got for you about locating subjects. So that's coming up. Now, speaking of Casey's hints and tips, I think we've got one now, haven't we, Casey?
We sure do. This was a little bit last minute, but I've had a couple of people be pretty intrigued about this one. I've slightly spoken about it before, but not at length. And this is about Google dorking, or Google operators, or advanced Googling, as some people call it. So this is about the site operator, which basically allows you to Google in the Google search bar a specific person or a specific thing that you're after and ask Google to look at a very specific site. So, and my favorite way to do this is to look for people on Facebook. Rather than going into Facebook and typing in their name and not getting much, remember Facebook is a website, so it is indexed by Google. And I'll just bring up what I mean, because it might sound like a lot of gobbledygook to some people. So, whoops, I put it on and took it off. Is it showing up for you, Mike?
Yep, we can see that and we can read it, Casey. Yep. Okay,
great. So if you look here, so a site query can help in a few ways with debugging a site. That's coding speak, that's where I've got this from. But if you put into the Google search bar, site semicolon, and then whatever site that you're looking for, and then I tend to put in commas, which I'll show you, inverted commas, which I'll show you in a second, whoever I'm looking for. And that tells Google that you're looking at this specific website and you want the specific search term. So if you have a look here, which I did this into the Google search bar, you can see site facebook.com, and I put in Casey Pine. Now, unfortunately, there is a Casey Pine that is a lot more famous than me, so all of his stuff came up. He is a famous American golfer, and you can see that it just looks like a Google search, but it's not. All of those images are directly from Facebook. And because I can't share my screen at the moment, I'm just on the laptop. So if I scroll down, you would see it's brought up his homepage, and it will bring up any other posts that he has been tagged in. It will also bring up other Casey Pines that aren't as famous as that particular one, their profiles, and it gives you a whole heap of information specifically from Facebook. So you see there's a lot of images there, and if you go there and click on any of them, they're all Facebook indexed. So you can do this with any website. You can do this with, for example, if you're looking for news on someone or information on someone, say you're doing a defamation case and they've written something and put it on maybe news.com.au or the Courier Mail, you can do the site operator. So site semicolon, type in couriermail.com.au and then put in the person's name in inverted commas, and it will bring up anything that they've ever written, and it just saves you so much time rather than scrolling and looking. It brings up everything that's been indexed by Google, and it's right there at your fingertips. So have a play around with it. It's a fantastic tool.
And the link to the hint that Casey just gave you will be added to this Word document. When I send it out to you, you let me know what your email address is and I'll send it to you. Those hints go direct to the hint. There's no introduction, there's no music, there's no job vacancies, just the exact hint over the 2 minutes you just saw there. So you can apply that in your work tomorrow, Casey. That's absolutely brilliant. Don't forget, people, it's really important. Friday, May the 6th, 1:30 p.m. at our AirLap meeting. Don't miss it. That's very, very important. A couple more jobs I've got to get through. So this is a beauty over at Seek. Seek are looking for a trust and safety analyst. So people do advertise on Seek jobs that aren't real.
Jamie.
Good on you, Jamie. Nice to see you ruin someone's life this afternoon. No, that's not the way people look at it when you serve process to them. Basically, they know it's coming. They've been waiting for it to come, and now they can have some closure on the problem. So well done, Jamie. You just helped someone close the issue and move forward. So great work, mate. So anyway, I was talking about jobs. Jamie interrupted me. Sedgwick have got a loss adjusting job down in Melbourne, so they're after a loss adjuster down there. And what I was talking about was that Seek are looking for a trust and safety analyst. Now, this person must analyse potential jobs because people ask for your credit card details or ask you to pay money to them for the application process, and they use Seek as a thoroughfare for that. So that trust and safety analyst, it's an investigation role. Now, you won't need a license for that. It's a corporate position. So it's a risk management protection that you're checking the person's ad is correct. And it's a real advertisement. People will go on Seek and pay $2,000 just to rip people off for $500,000. So keep that in mind in case you've spoken about that kind of thing before in past episodes. I think we've got that on our link list that you'll get as well. So that's a couple of other jobs that are there. What's happening down in Victoria, the International Security Training Academy, you can see it there. That's how they're listed on the Victorian Police website. And now 7.5 months into an audit in relation to their past activities in relation to CPP 30607 Certificate 3 in Investigative Services. Now, this is being checked by ASQA and by the Victorian Police LRD. Now, 7.5 months in, it means it's got to be pretty right and it's got to be pretty exact, because what ASQA do is they help you to comply, and what LRD do is they see what you did wrong. So prior to this year, 3 years in a row in their chief executive officer sign-off, they didn't tell ASQA, like they have to, about their partnership arrangements. Now, that resulted in a whole lot of people receiving CPP 306, CPP 407 Certificate 3 in Investigative Services that weren't trained by Victorian Police LRD approved instructors, that weren't given a Victorian Police LRD approved course. They didn't have the instructors and they didn't have the course. And that's being invested. It's taken 7.5 months, among other things, to this stage. So that is a really interesting thing. And one of those business partners that I'm talking about there, they offered me a deal last October, on the 13th of October last year, to do the same thing for them. I said no, because the maximum penalty for that in the 40 instances that they were talking about is 400 years in prison. Sorry, buddy. You chose the wrong person. Now, that would be really weird because it'd be just my word and his word. The previous day, he got his admin officer to do it to another RTO as well. So not good news there for training in Victoria. In Victoria, if you want to check that an RTO is approved for what you want to study, you get on this Victorian Police website and it tells you the registered training organisations that are approved and what they're approved for. And it'll say security guarding or firearms or private investigations. And if it's not there and it doesn't say that, don't give them any money. Don't do the course at all times. And I've said it before in this program again and again till I'm blue in the face. At all times, the Victorian Police Licensing Regulation Division invite RTOs to be compliant. They ask, it's on their website. They say, do this and you're compliant, right? We don't have any trouble that way. And they list all the things that they do. There is no skirting around it. There is no shortcut for it. You must comply with what the LRD want. And they're not asking much. The approval process takes 6 weeks. And they check it, and generally they approve it. So people, be very careful if you're studying an investigation course in Victoria, in fact, anywhere in Australia. Make sure, yeah, that's right, mate. 400 years in prison is a hell of a long time out of your life as a maximum penalty. So, I don't know how they do that. They must put your funeral off or something. So that's just something that is going to close things off this week. Now, going back to it, please don't forget, we are going to be having that program in May for AirLap, and it's something that's really special. We're 21 years old here at the Australian Security Academy next Tuesday, and we're looking forward to being back on the Gold Coast. Well, Casey will be back on the Gold Coast next week. I'm going to be deep in the jungle of Tasmania, in the middle of nowhere, up to my neck in leeches and snakes, and loving it. And we'll be back next week, and we'll see you then, people. So we'll go out in our usual way.
작전 종료. 전원 복귀할 것.
So that's it. It's our Anzac Day long weekend. We really enjoyed it, though. We're going to enjoy everything this coming week. Casey's enjoying Taree. I'm enjoying beautiful weather down here in Tassie. Thank you, everyone, for your good wishes. We'll be back next week, Friday afternoon at 2 o'clock. We will be reminding you about the AirLap meeting in May, and I trust you have a great week, long weekend, enjoyable Anzac Day, and we'll see you next week. Thanks, people. Thanks for watching.
See you next week, everybody.